Hello folks, just a quick video to cover off a few important pieces of business. Firstly, Football Manager is out on this right now. Football Manager Touch on Nintendo Switch, released like 30 seconds ago as this video is coming out. I was lucky enough to spend all day yesterday down with Sports Interactive in London playing the game on the Switch. Normally at this point this would be an intro where I transition into and here's all my footage from the day. You know me better than that. I'm an idiot. I did record an awful lot of footage down there, 6 videos to be precise. I did a first look video, I did a nice little mini series, and then when I showed the guys at Sports Interactive what I'd done, they said, yeah Kev, you can't put these out, you've not used the licensed teams. So I used Man City, I had a little go on Arsenal, I used England. They don't have the licenses for any of those, and legally it's a minefield. Is the bottom line. I should have been paying better attention. I should have used a team that had the licenses for. Then I could be showing you all sorts of Football Manager Touch on Nintendo Switch footage right now. As it is though, all is not lost because I have a copy of the game that by the time you're watching this video will be downloaded and installed on this device, ready to go. So I am still going to stick to my original plan, which is for this weekend I'm going to release 4 Nintendo Switch Football Manager Touch videos. I want to do a 4-part mini series. Now the one I recorded yesterday for you that I can't show you was the World Cup. But because we're now able to talk about it, I wasn't able to tell you that it existed before when I bought the Switch. I wasn't able to tell you that's why I bought the Switch. But now it's all out in the open, the game is released, hopefully. I'm not at home again today. If they postpone the release and I've put this video out, I'm sorry. Again, please work with me in the future, Sports Interactive. But I want you to have some input on what mini series I put out over the weekend. So because it's Football Manager Touch, it does have all the little challenge modes built into it. So you can do the Youth Academy challenge, the Financial Peril challenge, the Invincibles challenge, the Injury Crisis, the Morale Crisis one. There's a few different challenges. I want to do one that I can do in 4 parts, so I don't want to do a full season long one, so it probably rules out things like the Youth Academy challenge. But I'm going to put a poll up there to vote on the different options. So I'm going to put a few of the different challenges there as options. If you're not sure what the challenges are, they are the same as the ones that are in the PC or the iPad version of Football Manager Touch. I'm also going to put the World Cup up there as an option for you as well. Vote in the poll. Let me know what you would like to see me play over the weekend, Football Manager Touch on Nintendo Switch. And when I get home from EGX Resed today, I will record that, the first couple of parts of that, get them out on Saturday, and then get the other parts out on Sunday. And then we will be back to normal service on the channel from Monday, which leads me into the second part of this video. Don't worry, we are going to circle back round, and I'm going to tell you what I thought of Football Manager Touch on the Switch in just a minute. But I just want to address getting back to normal and why things have been a little bit awry on the channel first. I have been using the new community tab on the homepage of the channel and my Twitter and my Facebook group to try and keep in touch with you all, but I know for the vast majority of you, the only contact we have is when you watch these videos. So just to let you know that it has been difficult over the last couple of weeks to produce content as often as I normally would, purely because, well actually it's not purely because there's a number of reasons. Firstly, it's been the school holidays, the Easter holidays. So there's been a 2-week period that ends today where the kids have all been off school. Anna, my partner, she's been back at university this week, so I've been in full-on daddy daycare mode this week. So recording during the day has been a no-no. But on top of all that, I've had EGX Resed today for you. I've had this day down in London with Football Manager. I've had Insomnia that I went to last weekend with the Football Manager World Esports thing that was there as well. There's been various extra things thrown in on top of a period of time that really it's difficult for me to record videos, and I've just fallen behind the reduced schedule I was planning on doing. So there's not going to be any non-League to Legend or Back in the Borough out until Monday. Apologies if you're sat there waiting for those videos. It's just completely unaffordable, and I think to ensure that I'm managing expectations properly in all future school holidays, I'm just going to drop the schedule down massively to just 5 videos over the course of the week. Because realistically, when I'm doing daddy daycare, that's all I can record. There's just no way to get even daily content done when I've only got the evenings to work with. And I know what you're going to say, Kev, before you were doing this full time, you just used to record in the evenings. It wasn't a problem then. That's because then I wasn't streaming. Now I stream 3 nights a week. So I'm trying to record 7 videos in 4 evenings, or 3 evenings if you count my podcast as well. 7 videos into 3 evenings does not work. So apologies for that. Things will be back to normal from Monday. So we'll be back on Monday at 4 o'clock with Non-League to Legend, and that'll be every weekday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday with Non-League to Legend. And Back in the Borough will be back in its normal slot at 7 PM on Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday and Sunday. Plus the streams over on Twitch will be fully back up and running again, 9 PM on Mondays, Thursdays, Sundays. Cool? So, Football Manager Touch on the Nintendo Switch. What did I think of it? It took some getting used to initially, and that's partly because the fact that I had an Elgato plugged into it, it meant that I had to have the Switch docked. So rather than doing it the way that would feel most natural, which would be using the touchscreen on it, like you would if you've ever played Football Manager Touch on a tablet, or if you've ever played FM Mobile, you interact with it using the touchscreen interface, and it makes a lot of sense. And I did have a little play around with it in that mode, and it was very intuitive, very comfortable to get hold of. But when you've got it docked, which is the big thing that separates this from the existing tablet versions of FM Touch, or the PC versions, it's both mobile and you can sit at your desk and do it, or sit in your lounge and do it, wherever you have your dock set up. You control the whole thing just using the little Joy-Cons. And I know what you're thinking, because I thought it too. Oh God, this is going to be like those horrible Xbox 360 versions, like the horrible Vita version and the PSP versions. I mean, they were okay for a quick fix, but I think if we were all honest with ourselves, they weren't very good, were they? And it was basically, the way it used to work is you would use the directional pad or the analog stick to act as a mouse, and then the buttons would be the left and the right click on the mouse, and it wasn't made native to the console that it was on. But they've gone to a lot of effort to make sure that's not the case on the Switch. So like I say, when you're just using the tablet part, it just works like any other tablet version of Football Manager Touch. But when you're using the Joy-Cons and you have it docked, or even if you're using the Joy-Cons attached, and you don't want to use a touchscreen for whatever reason. I mean, with the Joy-Cons attached, it's quite hard to reach the whole touchscreen, even with giant hands like mine. Suddenly the shoulder buttons come massively into play, and it does take a little bit of getting used to, because it's not a natural feeling way to play Football Manager. But after a couple of hours of play today, and I've probably played 5 or 6 hours of this game now, but after a couple of hours, I was doing it as second nature, where you would use right trigger is equivalent to spacebar. That's the continue button. Left trigger is how you go back a screen. So you're doing a lot of navigating forward and back through screens using the triggers. But then the shoulder buttons on the Joy-Cons, so these buttons, bring up menus. So your normal menu that goes down the left-hand side of a Football Manager screen that has like your squad, your finances, all that stuff on, that's not there on the standard view of the game because it takes up too much screen real estate. You make that appear by pressing the shoulder button, and then you can navigate through that menu using the directional buttons and the analog sticks and just sort of skip through this. You're not having to drag a cursor around to go on that menu. You just click the shoulder button to make the menu appear, and then just flick around like you would on any other console game to get to the point that you want in the menu. It's more intuitive than it sounds. You'll see that from tomorrow when I start showing you some gameplay videos. Or I know there's a couple of other creators who were also down in the Sports Interactive offices in London this week. Not at the same time as me, but there's going to be some gameplay videos, if not out right now, certainly out later on today, from some of your favourite creators. Just not me, because I'm an idiot. And then the right shoulder button gives you a context-sensitive menu. So if, for example, you've got a player selected on the screen, it acts the same way that right-click would. So if you've got a player selected, if you hit the right shoulder button, it brings up the context-sensitive menu that allows you to do things like make an offer for that player, or offer them a new contract, or call them up for an international squad, that kind of thing. And it very, very quickly becomes very, very intuitive. And I was just finding myself really racing through the game almost as quickly as if I was on a PC. And bearing in mind I've been playing the PC version for about 25 years, I'm properly used to that now. So the fact that in just a couple of hours I was almost up to that speed, that's not a criticism of this version of the game. That's actually quite a roaring endorsement for how well they've managed to make the control system feel like it was built to work with the Nintendo Switch, which has always been the big criticism of previous console ports. They literally feel like console ports. This feels like they've actually put some thought into, right, how do we make a Nintendo Switch Football Manager game rather than how do we make Football Manager work on the Switch? And they might sound like very similar sentences, but they lead to very different thought processes, and it has made a big difference. Performance-wise, running on the Switch, I know if you're very much a console gamer, which probably not many of you are, this is a Football Manager channel, most of you are going to be PC Master Race kind of people, so you'll look at the specs of this and think, bleh. But if you compare the specs of this or if you compare it to like an Xbox One or a PS4. Bleh! So there's a lot of criticism for the specs of this piece of kit. It's not going to be as powerful as your phone or your tablet or a high-end gaming PC, but it probably is more powerful than, I don't know, the PC or laptop that maybe half of you are playing Football Manager on at the moment. It doesn't look as good as it does running on a PC. It doesn't look as good as it looks running on my big shiny iPad Pro. It does, however, handle the 3D graphics engine just fine. And bearing in mind this is the size of a mobile phone, that's an achievement in and of itself, because my iPhone doesn't run in 3D, and that only does the little dots, so that's progress. But it's not as graphically detailed as a really top-end piece of gaming kit. However, it is as good as it was on, as good as it runs on my MacBook, which isn't built for gaming. It looks fine, and certainly if you switch it over into the overhead dots view, then you don't notice any kind of difference. It's just like playing a full version of Football Manager with the overhead view, with the nice intuitive console control system. So I'm not going to dig too much deeper into that for today. I know it's probably quite frustrating hearing someone trying to review a game that they can't show you any screenshots or any footage from. Like I say, that is 100% my own idiot fault. I am a buffoon. I will listen to people when they talk to me in future. But like I say, there will be actual gameplay videos of the Nintendo Switch version of Football Manager Touch on this channel from tomorrow morning. But I need you to vote in the poll that I put up there before. Let me know whether you want to see me do a World Cup, whether you want to see me do one of the challenges, or even if you want to see me play through a season, just like a full season over the course of a few weeks. I mean, that's obviously not going to get done in 4 episodes, so I'd like to do a self-contained thing over the weekend, but if you'd rather see me spread that out a little bit and do a full season like I did on Football Manager Mobile back in December, then by all means vote for that as well. Let me know down in the comments what you think. Are you going to be picking up the Nintendo Switch version of it? Is it enough to convince you to go out and buy a Switch? And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow with a proper video. I'm so sorry. And if you have enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. Yeah, that's right. I'm counting this as today's Football Manager video. I've said Football Manager enough times. And thank you very much for watching.